I'll just at the bottom where we're stalling him. There we go. So it's drawing 90 to 360. I think that part's accurate, but I think this 45 may be what's throwing me. So that's probably saying where it starts. So let's see if decreasing it from 45 to 0 will do what I want.
Is there no documentation for this?
Not really. Okay. So that shifted him. So it looks like it started at 0. And then from 90 to 360, it filled it in.
You mean the 270, right?
Well, no. So this is 0.
Right.
This is 90. And then it's trying to fill it in all the way to the 360 point, or 0. So it goes from 90 to 360.
Oh, okay.
So you get to offset it. So like if I typed minus 45, I think that would be what I want. There we go. I got Pac-Man. He got a nice open mouth, but I do have Pac-Man. Okay. Now that I feel like I understand how shapes work and how colors work, I'm going to go back to the website. This is like the first example code. And let's see what the next one is. So it says it should be really simple. Kind of walk you through how Python works. Drawing with functions seems like the next thing to work on. This one looks like it has other features. So this is also importing it, but it's creating a screen width and a screen height. While in the previous one, it had just like set a background color and it created an open window. So when it creates an open window, maybe it's going to pass in the variables for screen width and screen height. Let's see in the sample code. Oh, so it's using that probably so I can resize it. And it has a main function, which is here. You name it. This one is called drawing example. This one's drawing with functions. And it passes in those two variables, screen width and screen height.
Excuse me. Oh.
And it's creating other variables, or functions, that are building it based on what you pass in. So, so when you draw the background, it's going to fill it just like in the other one, it set the background color to be a specific one. It's telling it to only do it in specific places, and it's making a rectangle to create, it looks like a sky blue, and some dark green ground. So if I changed it to brown or pink or something, it would still like take up, the bottom is going to take up a third of the screen. Looks like there's multiple birds that you can draw. You, again, just pass in the XY coordinates. So this is what the numbers are. It's telling it XY where they want it to be. So if I copy this code, I should be able to draw some birds. And maybe I can draw Pac-Man in there too. So I want new Python file. And this one, I'll name it scene. And paste this in. So just hitting save, I should be able to run it, and it should run everything without any issues, because it just copy pasted. So we have 2 trees. It's telling me here. Oh, I have to install the line. There we go. Show line numbers. Pine trees and birds. I can add in extra birds if I want. Oh, that's kind of cool. So this is going to be X. So I can put it at 250 and 325, and it should make one that's kind of in the middle there. Bird harmony in a way. Oh, no, that was not what it was. It made it really low. So I was looking at the pine trees. Okay. 525. There we go. So let's try that again. There we go. Much better. So we went from having it down here near the trees to being kind of up in the sky. I'm going to close the old ones. I do like the idea of it being lower though. So maybe let's try 425. There we go. That looks kind of cool. And because I think that my Pac-Man was so awesome from before, I want to add him into this new one. And I probably need this to be installed, indented. So the first one's going to be at X, and the next one's going to be Y. So the trees, I want him in between the trees, so in between 50 and 350, so that's going to be around 200. And then looks like 320 is around where this tree, the tree on the right is. So let's see if we can line up Pac-Man with that exactly. So let's save, let's run. Let's see if we get Pac-Man in between the two trees. Oh, well, we got Pac-Man kind of in between the two trees. I would still like him to be a little bit further over, but he is way too high for what I was wanting.
Pac-Man, why are you so high?
So he's kind of lined up with the tip of the tree. So maybe that's what's going on. Let's see if I make him 250, if that will line him up with the tip of the left tree.
Oh, yes.
Well, I lowered him. He's still flying high. It looks like he is like lined up right there in that top of the tree. So instead of making him lined up based on where the tree is, I think I might find some more success if I looked at where the scene begins, where the grass begins. So it looks like the ground fills up 1/3 of the screen. The screen is at 600, so it would start at 200. So that is the problem that I'm having. I am putting him up just way too high. So I'm going to try him at 236. That should make him touch the ground. And that is because the ground starts at 200 and he has a radius of 36. There we go. We got Pac-Man on the ground. I like the idea of him overlapping it a little bit so that he is showing up in the foreground. But we have some birds, we have some Pac-Man, we have some trees. We have a nice little scene here. Let's add some extra birds. There we go. Got some more birds, and Pac-Man is a little bit more in the foreground now. And so this one I can raise up a little more. I kind of like the idea of that bird being over more.
Are you making that crazy Pac-Man adventure game?
Oh, apparently.